To get to know my how, you first need to know my why. Why is it important for me at this stage in my life to start and share? Why am I drawn to speaking about these topics of marriage and family, raising a family, the understanding and knowledge of a family journey? For me, it all started with a storm. At the height of a storm, the human instinct is to fight your way through. Survival mode sets in, as it should, but sometimes we need that storm to hit our vessels and to damage it so that we can rehabilitate, reestablish, reevaluate, and rebuild. Purpose is a name of the game. Today, I feel like we have lost the true understanding of what marriage really is, what it means to get married, what it means to have that life partner, what it means and what it looks like to submit to that partner. It's not just about, the proposal or the ring or your dream wedding. All that is fine, but at the end of the day, that's just the ceremony. That's the start. That's just wine and dine and have a good time. What comes after is what truly matters. That's the true test. What happens when financial struggles come into the marriage? What happens when you have children and it's no longer just both of you? How you split your time, how self-care happens, how do you manage your time? How do you manage your family? How does it look when you have a sick child involved? The stresses that happen, that's the true test. That's the true testament of a marriage and what it takes to stay married and have that partnership. In today's world, we focus so much on material things and other people's opinions, what we see on TV, on social media, all of that. It blinds us and it sidetracks us so much that we forget what we are called to be, our purpose as husband and wife, our purpose as father and mother, our purpose as a family. For me, I learned this the hard way. And when that storm hit me, I didn't know where to go and how to go. For me, the pressure was a lot. I had come off of 2 difficult pregnancies. The second one, which almost cost my son and myself our lives, and trauma from that experience. It took a toll on me and held me for over 3 years. I held on to that. And that's the one thing that I learned about trauma. Trauma, it makes you reevaluate. When you almost lose your life, it may take a while sometimes, but you understand the true meaning of life, how short it is, and how much you need to go after what it is that you were placed here to do, who you were placed here to be, the impact that you need to have on those around you. During the peak of my storm, listen, I was done. I was, as you would say in Trinidad, I was mashed up. I was broken to pieces and I could not put myself back together. So at that point, I let go and I surrendered it all. And I did what I should have done a long time ago. And that was to let Jesus take the wheel. Because my way wasn't working and I was getting nowhere. When I let go and let God, it was like a ton of bricks hit me at once, and my spiritual life, it kicked in and it grew. And I could see and understand more. Like, my respect for my husband grew. What he needed from his wife was more apparent to me. And my understanding and the role of wife and mother, it made more sense. And at that point, I stopped. I stopped looking and listening to the negative connotations of being a wife and motherhood. And again, with social media, there's so many things that, yes, it may be funny, but when you're going through it, you take it to heart and you kind of just feed off of that. And it seriously rots your brain. Once I stopped looking and listening to the mess, I started focusing on how can I be a better wife and mother? How can I be the wife and mother that God intended me to be? To be the helper to my family that God intended me to be. And that's the most important thing that I missed in all of this. It's all about what God wants to do in my life, in the life that He gave me, the life that He intentionally purposed for me. I know some women are probably like, a helper. Listen, in Genesis, it says that the woman was created to be a helper. It's in our nature. That's what we were purposed to do, to be a helper to our family, to nurture our family, and to love our family. We do it differently. Men have their purpose, fathers, husbands have their purpose, and we as women, as wives, and as mothers have our purpose. And that was one thing that I couldn't differentiate and I didn't understand until I started truly locking all of the stuff that society and the world tells us about being a wife and being a mother and all of these different things. They're layers, and we need to open our eyes and our minds and see and understand. That opened my eyes and that made me think differently and start transforming my mind and transforming me as a wife and a mother, and started transforming me in the role that I play in my household, in my family. This leads to my why. Why this podcast? Well, I know I'm not the only one. We all have our storms. We all have our trials and our tribulations that we go through. And we don't have a village today. We don't. Motherhood and parenthood as a whole is so different today than it was years before. And sometimes you really just need to hear from somebody else, hear their perspective, because we all are going through different things, and some may be the same, some may differ, but we're all going through it. It helps us to look at things differently, approach things differently, and just have a different perspective. It opens up our understanding a little bit more. And so I am determined to build a village that can help us all. Yes, it may not be physical help, but what I've learned through my experiences, if we can transform our minds and know that we do have the capacity to do certain things and follow the purpose that we have all been given, and everybody's purpose is different. But once mentally we can align ourselves to the actual truth and not what the world and society tells us, we will know our individual paths and follow those paths as we should. As I've gotten older, the kitchen has become my safe space. This kitchen counter has seen and heard a lot. We haven't just cooked and enjoyed our meals here, but it has seen arts and crafts. It has seen parties. It has seen and heard conversations that have made us cry and laugh and debate. and have our back and forth. But this space to me represents growth, laughter, love, fun. And just as my childhood home, that kitchen, I have so many memories that has stayed with me and helped to mold me into the woman that I am today. I know that this kitchen has already started molding my kids and making memories. And that's why I chose this space, because these conversations that we have in a kitchen are conversations that nourish us, that help us to grow and understand and see things from different perspectives. So I invite you to come into my safe space and make it your safe space where we can help each other grow, build each other up, and go on this journey together.